In this video, we'll go over the basics of reading notes in music. Music notes are written on a musical staff. The staff is made up of 5 lines and the 4 spaces between those lines. Notes can appear on a line with the staff line going through the circle part of a note, known as the note head, and notes can be in a space, with the space going through the note head. We read music left to right, just like when we're reading English. Each note has its own name. The names follow the order of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F until G. As they move forward in the alphabet, notes move higher in the staff and sound higher on your instrument. After G, we restart the pattern at A. Notice now how some names repeat. Notes with the same name and a different sound will look different on your staff. Let's look at some notes. These are called A, B, C, D. Notice how the notes alternate between space, line, as they go up. These next examples have notes that look exactly the same as the first example, but their names are different. That's because of the different symbols at the beginning of each example. These symbols are called clefs. Different instruments use different clefs, but you only need to know your clef. The first one is called treble clef. It's used for high voices. Violins use treble clef. The second one is called alto clef. It's used for middle voices. Violas use alto clef. This last one is called bass clef. It's used for low voices. Cellos and basses use bass clef, but the notes on a bass will sound lower than those on a cello. This image shows the relationship between the 3 clefs. Alto clef is in the middle of treble and bass, and shares some of the low notes of treble clef and some of the high notes of bass clef. You don't really need to know this, I just think it's cool. Now let's learn about your clef. To make memorization easier, we've grouped notes into spaces and lines. Notes on the spaces read A, C, E, G. In order to memorize this order, we're going to come up with phrases that have words that start with these letters. Our phrase for spaces is going to be all cows eat grass. I've heard other phrases like all cars eat gas and all cowboys eat grits, whatever helps you remember the order. Notes on the lines read G, B, D, F, A. Our phrase for lines is going to be good burritos don't fall apart. G, B, D, F, A. Our instruments can play more notes than the staff can hold. When we need to extend the staff, we use ledger lines. Notice here how the notes still alternate space, line, even with the ledger lines. Notes can technically go higher than this, but this is the highest you'll need for now. Ledger lines can also extend lower. Notice how the names now move backwards in the alphabet because the notes are moving lower. The notes that are surrounded by stars are notes that cellos can play, but basses can't. Keep in mind that even though cellos can play that low C, the bass E there will sound lower than the cello E. Memorizing note names is crucial to reading music, but don't worry, we'll get lots of practice in class.